What is vacation pay on vacation pay? Now, when an employee hears or reads a term like vacation pay on vacation pay, they most likely brush it off as some legal depiction that they are not about to scrutinize, beyond the fact that it adds more money to their bank account. Meanwhile, when I tackle this aspect from a legal angle, I get severe pushback from major law firms representing some very significant employers, when the fact is that I didn't create the concept of vacation pay on vacation pay. The legal concept of vacation pay on vacation pay is not some mythical creation out of my imagination, but the application of certain provinces' employment standards legislation, such as the Alberta Employment Standards Code, and is actually paid out by a number of major employers. And as everyone can appreciate, there isn't an employer out there that is going to make a payment to its employees that it doesn't have to legally pay, especially one as cryptic as vacation pay on vacation pay. Now, if we take a step back, one needs to understand that every province has its own employment standards legislation, together with there being a further piece of legislation for certain areas of employment that are of federal significance, which is legislated by the Canada Labour Code. And there are clear distinctions in how payments must be calculated in each of these employment jurisdictions, such that a specific calculation might work in Ontario, but could contravene the employment standards legislation in many other provinces. As such, there isn't a one-size-fits-all calculation for employees across Canada, such that it becomes necessary to create workarounds and additional pay computations to cover differences between provinces and employment jurisdictions, with vacation pay on vacation pay being one such example. So what exactly is vacation pay on vacation pay? It is an attempt to overcome a deficiency in payroll computations and payroll software that was largely formulated or modified to meet the needs of Ontario's employment standards legislation when it is applied to other provinces. And even though it does serve to correct part of the problem, in my professional opinion, it does not go far enough so as to fully correct the problem, while also creating additional employee pay issues throughout the country. So what exactly is the deficiency that vacation pay on vacation pay is attempting to address? For this, we need to direct our attention to Section 43 of the Alberta Employment Standards Code, which states, quote, "Vacation pay paid to an employee in 1 year of employment is deemed to be wages for the purposes of calculating the vacation pay payable to the employee in the following year of employment," end quote. The effect of this statutory provision is that in addition to an employee receiving their 4 or 6% vacation pay on their wages, which excludes vacation pay, general holiday pay, overtime pay, and other specified payments, there is required payment of 4 or 6% vacation pay that must be paid on the prior year's vacation pay, hence vacation pay on vacation pay. So if an Alberta-based employee is entitled to 6% vacation pay, the regular vacation pay might be recorded as 6% of their regular hourly pay in the current pay period, with a further 6% of their regular vacation pay in that pay period being paid as vacation pay on vacation pay. By way of example, let us say an Alberta-based employee making $25 an hour works 80 regular hours in a 2-week period, such that the employee's hourly pay before deductions is $2,000. Now, if the employee is entitled to a 6% rate for vacation pay, the employee's regular vacation pay is computed at $2,000 times 6%, equating to $120. To cover the employee's vacation pay on vacation pay, the employer would pay a further 6% of $120, being a further payment of $7.20. This effectively brings the employer more in line with Alberta Employment Standards Code, although there are oftentimes additional elements that are not being dealt with, which are outside the scope of the current analysis. This is the diametric opposite of what is set out at Section 35.2 of the Ontario Employment Standards Act. 35.2. An employer shall pay vacation pay to an employee who is entitled to vacation under Section 33 or 34 equal to at least A, 4% of wages excluding vacation pay that the employee earned during the period for which the vacation is given, if the employee's period of employment is less than 5 years, or B, 6% of wages excluding vacation pay that the employee earned during the period for which the vacation is given, if the employee's period of employment is 5 years or more. Due to this clear statutory difference, the employer needs to be excluding vacation pay from its calculation in Ontario while including vacation pay in Alberta, such that employers required a workaround for Alberta employees, namely vacation pay on vacation pay. However, this leads to the inevitable problem of workarounds, which is that they attempt to correct an obvious issue, yet all too often fail to address all the problems, where there isn't just a single difference as between employment standards legislation. Furthermore, there can be issues arising from the Ontario employee's vacation pay computation, which is distinct from this vacation pay on vacation pay issue. Now, don't get me started on British Columbia, as their provincial employment standards legislation has different parameters, which isn't helped by certain official government posts, which in my personal opinion are inaccurate or ill-defined, as they state a position that demands both 1, a hypothetical employment scenario that arguably does not exist in the real world, and 2, requires the employer's other pay computations to be calculated in a manner that is not the norm and requires some very serious mathematical acrobatics. For as we've come to learn at our law firm, and is the basis for many of our current lawsuits against employers, far too many employees are subject to improper payroll schemes that are originating from Ontario, or worse yet, the United States of America, with slight modifications for Ontario. And simply doing a few cosmetic workarounds is not sufficient. Instead, when one reworks employee payroll reporting and computations from first principles and specifics to the governing employment standards legislation, the outcome is quite serious, with the amount of underpayments being truly significant. So whether or not you see vacation pay on your pay statements fall in the conclusion of your employment, whether fired, laid off, terminated, quit, or resigned, you need to dig even deeper into what you were properly due from your former employer. For employees fired, laid off, terminated, quitting, or resigning their job who are seeking to get the appropriate legal payout from their former employer, contact our law firm for a confidential initial consultation. Thank you.